The maid they mocked, but she wasn't who they thought. Chapter 1. The Arrival. The Carter mansion stood on the edge of the city like a monument to pride. Tall white pillars, marble floors, chandeliers that glimmered like captured stars. But for Amara, stepping through those doors wasn't a dream. It was the start of humiliation. Tell me in the comments, what would you have done if you had to work in a house like this? And if you love stories of hidden strength, and hit that like button so more people can enjoy this one too. She carried only one bag. Her clothes were plain, her shoes worn. She looked nothing like the maids the Carters usually hired. And yet she held her chin high. Mrs. Grayson, the head housekeeper, met her at the door. "You're the new maid?" she asked coldly. "Yes, ma'am," Amara replied softly. Her room was no bigger than a closet, no window, just a bed and a cracked dresser. "This is yours," Mrs. Grayson said. "Work begins at 6 sharp, and you'll answer to Miss Clara most of all." That name was her warning, because moments later, Clara Carter appeared, the spoiled daughter of the house. Silk robe, painted nails, a smirk that dripped cruelty. She looked Amara over as if she were dirt. "Father really is desperate. Hiring this?" Amara bowed her head. "Yes, Miss Clara." Clara laughed. "Oh, she's polite. That will make breaking her more fun." That night, Amara unpacked in silence. Among her few possessions was a small locked notebook. She pressed it to her chest and whispered, "One day, the truth will return, and so will everything this family took." At dinner, she served for the first time. When she poured water, Clara coughed loudly. "Careful, don't spill." "Oh wait, you probably don't even know how to hold a glass." The family laughed. Only Ethan, the youngest son, stayed quiet. His eyes lingered on Amara, curious. When dinner ended, Clara dropped her napkin to the floor. "Pick it up, maid." Amara knelt. Clara whispered, "You'll never be anything more than a servant here. Remember that." Amara looked up, steady, unbroken. "We'll see, Miss Clara, we'll see." Chapter 2. Cruel days. The days that followed were filled with cruelty. Clara invented tasks just to watch Amara fail. "Wash these dresses again," Clara demanded. "They smell like poverty." When guests came, Clara made Amara serve barefoot. "She looks more authentic that way," she joked, and laughter followed. But Amara never argued. She worked quietly, gracefully, as if nothing touched her spirit. If you were in Amara's position, would you stay silent like her, or would you fight back? Comment your answer. I'm curious to know. Behind closed doors, Amara opened her notebook. Inside were names, numbers, documents, proof of a past no one suspected. She whispered, "Patience. Every insult is just another stone in the foundation of justice." Ethan noticed her dignity, how she endured mockery without trembling, how, when Clara spilled juice on purpose, Amara calmly cleaned it without a word. One evening, he asked, "Why don't you ever speak back?" Amara's eyes were calm. "Because truth doesn't need noise. It waits, and when it speaks, everyone listens." Chapter 3. Breaking Point. One rainy afternoon, Clara set a trap. She invited friends, then accidentally knocked over an expensive vase. "Amara," she shouted, "look what you've done." Everyone gasped. The blame fell on Amara. Mr. Carter's face reddened. "Do you know how much that cost?" he roared. Amara bowed. "I did not touch it, sir, but I will accept the punishment." "Of course you will," Clara sneered. They fined her wages. They shamed her in front of the staff. That night, Amara cried silently into her pillow. Not for the insult, but for the cruelty of a family that once knew better. She opened her notebook again. Inside was a faded photo of her late father, a loyal partner to Mr. Carter, betrayed and stripped of everything. And Amara had come, not as a maid, but as his heir. Chapter 4. Quiet Strength. The more they mocked, the stronger she became. When the cook fell ill, Amara prepared the meals. Guests praised the food. Clara fumed. When a storm cut the power, Amara fixed the generator. Mr. Carter raised an eyebrow. "Where did you learn that?" "Life teaches those who listen," she answered. Whispers spread. "She's different. Not like us. There's something about her." Clara noticed Ethan speaking to Amara more often, a kindness in his eyes she couldn't tolerate. Jealousy twisted her. "She's just a maid," Clara shouted one night at Ethan. But Ethan replied, "Then why does she carry herself like a queen?" Chapter 5. The Revelation. The breaking point came at the Carter Company's annual board meeting. Mr. Carter faced lawsuits. Investors demanded answers. In the chaos, a quiet voice spoke. "If I may." Everyone turned. It was Amara, still in her plain maid's clothes, but holding her notebook. Mr. Carter snapped, "What are you doing here?" But Amara stepped forward, presenting the documents you tried to bury. She opened her notebook, contracts, signatures, bank records, proof her father had been cheated out of his rightful share of the Carter empire. Gasps filled the room. Board members whispered furiously. Mr. Carter stammered, How did you get these? Amara's voice rang clear. I am Amara Okoye, daughter of the man you betrayed, and by law, half of this empire belongs to me. Before I tell you how the room reacted, take a second and type in the comments. Do you think the Carters will regret mocking her? The room erupted. Ethan's eyes widened, not in shock but in admiration. Clara screamed, she's lying, she's nothing, but no one listened. The truth was undeniable. Chapter 6. Justice and Triumph. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Court sided with Amara. The empire was restored to her name. The Carter mansion was no longer a prison. It became hers by right. Clara sulked, humiliated. Mr. Carter shrank into the shadows. And Ethan, he bowed respectfully to Amara. You taught me something no book ever could, he said. That strength isn't in titles. It's in dignity. Amara smiled softly. I never wanted revenge, only truth. Now it's here. She stood at the grand doors of the mansion, sunlight spilling across the marble floors. The same doors where she once entered, mocked and belittled. Now she walked out, free, her head held high. So remember this, never underestimate the quiet ones. The ones who bow their heads, who endure in silence. Because behind that silence may rest the strength of generations. And when truth arrives, it shines brighter than any chandelier. If you stayed with me until the end, type the word justice in the comments so I know you believe in truth too. And if this story inspired you, make sure you like, share, and subscribe because we have many more uplifting stories coming your way.